Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news. Now, let's dive into this incredible news that's swirling around the NFL, particularly impacting the Giants and their division rivals. There's a lot of chatter from insiders, whispers really, about a potential move that could reshape the NFC East landscape. And no, it's not just about draft picks or draft strategy. It's about acquiring a player who could be a real game changer. COWBOYS from the Las Vegas Raiders. This isn't just speculation. Sources suggest that the Giants are eyeing Mayers, expecting him to join them by the third quarter of 2025. And there's also talk about the Raiders potentially trading away their cornerback, Andrew Phillips, as part of their rebuild efforts. It's a fascinating scenario, one that could give the Giants a serious boost on offense, especially in the slot, which has been a position of need for quite some time. Let's take a moment here to really understand the context. The Raiders, sitting at 2-4 with a cap space of around $10 million, are clearly in a position where they're looking to shed salary and acquire assets for the future. They're in a bit of a rebuild mode, especially after a challenging start to the season. Their offensive line has struggled significantly, allowing 31 sacks so far, ranking 29th in the NFL, so they're definitely looking to focus on bolstering that unit. Meanwhile, the Giants, who are also sitting at 2-4 but with only about $5 million in cap space, have their own concerns, particularly with injuries and roster depth. Slayton, for instance, has been sidelined with a hamstring injury, missing Week 7, and players like Neighbors are in the concussion protocol, along with Schmitz, who's also dealing with a concussion question mark. It's a challenging situation, but one that also opens doors for strategic moves, such as acquiring a proven slot receiver like Mayers. Now, talking about Mayers himself, this guy is no stranger to making an impact. An undrafted player out of NC State in 2019, Mayers has quietly become one of the most efficient and reliable receivers in the league. His PFF grade in 2025 is an eye-popper, 84. 2, ranking him among the top 15 wide receivers in the NFL this season. What's impressive about Mayers is not just his stats, but how he does it. He's caught 24 passes for 290 yards and 2 touchdowns so far in 2025, but it's the way he does it that really stands out. He's averaging 1 yards per reception, which is quite solid, especially considering he's often relied on in tight windows and contested catches. In fact, he's got a contested catch percentage of 50%, putting him among the top 15 in the league. Plus, his deep completion rate stands at an impressive 46%, again ranking in the top 15, showing he can stretch the field when needed. What makes Mayers such a perfect fit for the Giants is his route running. His route win rate hovers around 60%, meaning he consistently gets open against defenders. He's also known for his YAC, yards after catch, averaging over 5.9 yards per reception, which is in the top 10 league-wide. That's exactly what the Giants need, someone who can turn a short pass into a big gain, especially in a system that's looking to diversify its passing attack. And he's shown he can perform under pressure, with 0 drops versus man coverage, which is huge, given how critical reliable hands are in today's NFL. His red zone efficiency is also notable, scoring a touchdown on 25% of his targets, good for a top 12 ranking. And his standout game against the Broncos in Week 3, where he caught 7 passes for 98 yards and a touchdown, underscores his capacity to produce in key moments. Looking at his career, Mayers has accumulated over 500 yards and 30 touchdowns, with a route win rate of 60%. He's a guy who's steadily improved and has shown he can be a top target when given the chance. His EPA per target, sitting at plus 0.18, is considered elite, and he's consistently graded above 83 on PFF over the last 4 seasons, making him a dependable option. His 2024 stat line of about 229 yards makes him one of the top 15 wide receivers in the league, and that's with the Raiders struggling offensively overall. Now, imagine what he could do with a team like the Giants, especially if he joins a system led by Brian Daboll, who's known for maximizing his offensive weapons. For the Raiders, this move makes sense, even if it seems a bit risky. They're not likely to make a playoff push with their current trajectory, with odds of +12, 0 to reach the postseason, and their focus is probably on rebuilding, especially on the defensive side. They're looking to free up cap space to extend key players like Crosby and to bring in rookies, which means Meyers might be seen as surplus to requirements. The downside for the Raiders is that losing Meyers could impact their offense, particularly in EPA per pass, which could drop by around 10%, similar to what we saw with the Dolphins after losing Hill. But for the Giants, this is a golden opportunity. They're in a position to capitalize. Meyers would instantly become a primary target in the slot, where projections suggest he could reach 0 yards and 8 touchdowns, elevating the team's passing game significantly. His presence could help lift the Giants from their current 28th ranking in passing yards per game to, potentially, a top 15 unit. Let's talk a little about the Giants' current offensive situation. Daniel Jones has been working hard to get back to full strength, and having a reliable slot receiver like Meyers would be a game changer. Right now, the team's offense averages around 200 passing yards per game, which is among the lowest in the league. With Meyers, that number could jump to around 240 yards per game, which would make a substantial difference. His ability to gain yards after the catch, YAC, would also complement the speed of players like Hyatt, who's already amassed 250 yards early in the season. The combination of Meyers and Hyatt could create a nightmare for defenses, adding about 12 explosive plays per game, which is exactly what the Giants need to keep defenses honest. In terms of offensive efficiency, the Giants are currently rated around 75. 3 on PFF, which is below average, but with Meyers, that metric could rise significantly. His presence would also help reduce turnovers, something the Giants have struggled with this season, by providing a more trustworthy target in critical situations. And if we look at the bigger picture, a move like this could have a tangible impact on their playoff chances. The odds for the Giants to reach the Super Bowl have already improved from +12, 0 to around +4, 500, which is a huge shift, reflecting the belief that Meyers could be the X factor they need to make a deep playoff run. The NFC is relatively open this year, and adding a player of Meyers' caliber in the slot could be the difference between a wild card exit and a legitimate contender. Now the buzz around this potential trade is also about how it could influence the division. The Cowboys, Eagles, and Commanders are all formidable opponents, but if the Giants add Meyers, especially in the red zone and critical third-down situations, they could tilt the balance of power in their favor. Meyers' ability to beat man coverage and make contested catches in tight spots makes him a perfect weapon for those clutch moments. Plus, his chemistry with Daniel Jones could develop quickly, considering their familiarity from college and their shared goal of making the playoffs and beyond. This is the kind of move that gets fans excited, not just because of the immediate upgrade, but because of the long-term implications for the franchise's future. As we look ahead, the Giants are clearly making strategic decisions that could reshape their roster for years to come. The idea of trading for Meyers, who's still in the prime of his career, signals that they're all in on competing now, especially with the talent they have on defense. It's a bold move, but one that could pay off if Meyers continues to perform at his current level or even improves with the right system and quarterback support. Remember, he's been a top 15 receiver in the league in 2024, and with the right environment, he could elevate the Giants' passing attack to new heights. And finally, let's not forget the broader picture. The NFL is a league of adjustments, of calculated risks and bold moves. The Giants are clearly looking to position themselves as serious contenders, and adding Meyers could be the catalyst that finally pushes them over the edge. The NFC landscape is still very much up for grabs, and with a talented, dynamic receiver like Meyers, the Giants could be the team nobody wants to face come playoff time. The division rivals better watch out because this move could be the start of something big, a new chapter of dominance for Big Blue. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest New York Giants news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, New York Giants fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you believe Meyers can be the missing piece for the Giants' offense? How do you see him fitting into the team's scheme and helping them challenge the NFC powerhouses? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Giants' future. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates. So stay tuned for all the latest news, analysis, and insights about the New York Giants. This is a franchise on the rise, and with moves like these, the future looks brighter than ever. Thanks for being part of this incredible journey with us. Remember, Giants fans, the best is yet to come.